Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Of course, we're here on YouTube Live, but also we're here on Roku and Fire TV on Pod Nation TV. Now, mind you, last week we had a different network, which was PXN. Unfortunately, I cannot say that because what happened is a trademark thing came through. So if you seen us on PXN is now Pod Nation TV. So make sure you keep that in mind. Same way to find it, same way you found it last time, same hash link, same everything. It's just Pod Nation TV. So
the only problem I have is I'm used to doing this, bro.
You can still do that. Like
now I need something new.
Yeah.
Can I do that still? Okay.
Some Poindexter dickhead, pretty much he had a network that was the PX, and it's like a really old network. It's like fucking 10 years old or some shit like that. And he has
reruns of Blossom on it.
Yeah, and he started throwing out like fucking threats and all that shit. And it's like, dude, get the fuck out of here. So we just went ahead and changed it or whatever and all that stuff. So if you're here on YouTube Live, welcome. Of course, make sure you comment in the live thread. I keep track of that all throughout. I may not get to your questions or your comments right away, but eventually I will. Of course, Jeff Porrini from the Yo Show, who's becoming kind of a staple here on the Happy Hour podcast. He's here with me tonight. He's filling in for Matt and Tom. Mondays, stuff like that, always kind of hard for those guys. They have kids. I'm a loser with no kids. So
right here, bro.
Yeah, it is what it is. And Jeff's seen me. I chased the dogs upstairs. And of course, before we came live, of course, you saw the in memory, myself, Jeff always wearing his Philadelphia Phillies hat. We're baseball guys. So, of course, two big losses in Major League Baseball, this week. Of course, the best third baseman to ever live, unquestionably, no argument.
Second best.
He passed away, of course, here in Baltimore. That's a huge thing. Brooks Robinson was Baltimore. He was the Orioles. I don't know, Jeff, if you've ever had any experiences with Brooks. I've had a handful. Every time, nice guy, went out of his way to talk to you. I don't even think Brooks Robinson knew he was Brooks Robinson.
Yeah, met him once. And being a Philly fan and being a Schmidt guy. I haven't said like Schmidt's the best. And we had a little fun with it,
Yeah. And then of course, Tim Wakefield. We found out about that yesterday. He passed. Unfortunately, we all knew a little bit about it beforehand because Kurt Schilling ended up dropping that bomb that he probably shouldn't have on his show, revealing, Tim Wakefield had cancer, all that stuff. So, so if you're a baseball fan, you're just finding out Brooks Robinson, Tim Wakefield both passed over the last week. So, definitely two good guys that are gone as we're heading into Major League Baseball's postseason, which, of course, your team and my team both are in the postseason. So I'm actually kind of hoping that we reduplicate the World Series from exactly 40 years ago, which was the Orioles and the Phillies, which would be kind of cool to see going into the postseason. But what I'm going to do is of course, Jeff, I noticed before we went on, you had an old beer that we had as a featured beer in the past, and that's the banana bread beer. We featured that before by Eagle Brewing Company. And we have a new featured beer as well, which this featured beer is Off Your Gourd. So here it is. Of course, this is Halloween. It's spooky season here on the Happy Hour podcast. So if anybody knows a little bit of anything, we're going to do our same shenanigans that we always do, but we always have a Halloween twist to them. We haven't done Smash or Dash in a while. So once Vividly Vixen gets here, we're going to be doing Smash and Dash, which, has 15 of the most grotesque horror villains I could find. And it's basically, would you fuck this person or would you not? So Smash and Dash returns with that. Of course, the Maryland Urban Legends is back. There's so many Maryland Urban Legends. We couldn't cover them all last year. So it's back. We're going to learn about the blue tick hound this week on the Happy Hour podcast. So all of our episodes all throughout October are going to be Halloween themed. So let's just go ahead and crack this open. Of course, off your gourd, it's an Imperial Porter, 8.0% alcohol.
Oh, baby.
Volume. And I hope I'm saying this right. It's by Indidium. Is that what that said here?
I think it's Indidium.
Yeah, Indidium Brewing Company. And of course, you see, I didn't see anything on here. Oh, it says with pumpkin, brown sugar, candied ginger, Saigon cinnamon, and nutmeg, which normally,
God, that sounds good.
It's hard for me. Like, I got to go to Total Wine and find like a horror oriented name because I absolutely hate pumpkin, which means I hate pumpkin beer. So I didn't see pumpkin on this. I kind of figured it was, and I just read it. And I was like, fuck, as I read it, because I hate pumpkin everything. But since it has all that other stuff in it, let's see. There's a nice little smell to it. It's not too bad. You can smell the nutmeg in this. Like,
I like that.
Nutmeg, like, just consumes your nostrils when you smell this. So, all right. So that has a nice little smell to it. So let's just go ahead.
As much as I hate to say it, I do miss Brownsville Ale.
That's actually not bad at all. I like that. That's really good.
Sounds good. I'm down for stuff, I guess.
Like, one thing though, where they do get their fail is, of course, shout out to Indidium Brewing. They're right here in Frederick County, Maryland. They don't have a cool description on the can. That is one of my number one things, is a cool fucking intricate description on the can.
I'm with you.
They don't have. So I'm a little upset about that. And it is a porter, so I'm not a big porter guy. Of course, I'm also not a big pumpkin anything guy. So, but no, I like it, especially with the label, definitely go, hey, what's up? How are you?
I'm good. I just I messed my video camera up. I'm trying to figure out what the heck's wrong with it.
That voice is all we need. That voice works.
Thank you.
Of course, Vividly Vixen is joining us right here on the show. How you doing? How are you?
Good. How are you? Nice to finally meet you.
So is this your first podcast that you're doing?
It would have been.
It would have been. Okay.
I had one last night. So
okay,
it beat you by like 24 hours.
No. It's fine. I was going to say, man, like, we've had a lot of people lately that, did their first podcast or one of their first podcasts, but we're not like most podcasts. I don't even consider this show anymore a podcast because, of course, we're right here on Fire TV and Roku as well. So this show is kind of transcended to a little bit of something a little bit more over the last 4 years. So what we're going to do, of course, it's Halloween time. So we're going to get right into it, spooky season here on the Happy Hour podcast. So Viv, what we're going to do is, for Halloween, what do you think was your most extreme / your most risque costume? Like, if there's a crazy costume or anything like that you've had, what would you say it was?
So 1 year in college, I painted my ass like bright orange and put a jack-o'-lantern, like the eyes and the mouth and everything. And then I just walked into the parties. It was like a costume only for entry. And they're like, well, you're not wearing a costume. So I was just wearing a black dress. And I just turned around and bent over and mooned them. They're like, oh, okay, yeah, you're good. That's one of them. I love Halloween. So I've done lots of stuff. Like I did a lot of like really cool like makeup of like zombie stuff on my face the 1 year. Nice. And had like a baby like crawling out of my stomach. Like there's like a zombie baby crawling out and stuff. So I won the costume for the contest for that. I won like 5 bottles of liquor or some shit. It's pretty cool.
That's cool. Was it like top shelf liquor or was it did it just get nice? That's good shit. I was about to say, like, you win the contest and then they give you like the cheapest liquor you can find. And you're like, what the fuck? I worked hard on this. Jeff, what about you? What jumps out to you as one of the wildest costumes you've ever done?
Oof. Never did a lot of wild ones. Last 2 years ago, we had a benefit from my wife, of course, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Congratulations on survival. But we had a big party. I got this like elaborate, like $300 Macho Man Randy Savage costume, red leather with the cowboy hat. Whoa,
nice.
Hang on.
Oh.
So I got the cowboy hat right here, and it was elaborate. And to be funny, I stuffed a bunch of socks in my front, and a couple of friends were like, "Hey, Jeff, holy shit!" Like, I guess they thought I was super maxed and down, but it was a great costume. I don't get too. I've got great ones. I was Freddie Mercury 1 year. I love Halloween to death.
I've had a lot. Of course, me and my wife have had a lot, and I talked about this before on the show, but I don't think anything will ever in a million years beat the glory hole costume that I made one year. And that was a piece of particle board that I took, and I put like little straps on the back of it, painted it gray, put glory hole, took like a giant dildo and shoved it on the front. And I went to downtown Baltimore. This was 2008. I went
Wow,
downtown
downtown
Baltimore,
Baltimore.
and the things that happened to that dildo on that night will forever live in infamy. Like, I'm talking like if COVID was around then, like I would have been a mass spreader with that dildo, because there was a person who blew it, and then someone they rubbed their ass against it, and then someone licked up and down. I'm like, you guys have no idea what just happened to this before you were doing these things. But you know what? Go ahead. I'm here for it. Do it.
Was it a
You needed to
nasty-
videotape it.
Right?
If there's no video, it didn't happen.
Here, let me see if I should be able to
Was the ass
find
painted like a pumpkin?
a photo of it. So here, let me see. So let me just look right here. Because I pulled up the photo last week. Me and my wife, we did the movie Matilda, and I was the kid who ate the cake. So let me pull. It should be in the same album as that. I'm surprised that Facebook hasn't deleted it yet, because that's exactly where it is. So let me scroll through here. So here's
always safe
thing. Let's see. That's when we did what was it? What the hell was that movie that we did? Peg Bundy and Al Bundy, A League of Their Own. So this was all like, so this was before I was married. So let me just scroll through.
Those are probably the better pictures.
Yeah, I should be able to find it momentarily. All right, so there's the firefighter one, which was a fun one also. Okay, so here it is right here. So let me pull up this photo, and then I'm gonna go ahead and hit that share screen.
The glory hole?
Boom and boom. Right there. That was it right there. So that was the glory hole costume.
Yes.
Right there. And
that's
so,
great.
Like, so you can see it right there, and like it just said glory hole there. And then like I had people sign that had so many signatures and all
That's
that shit
genius.
on it by the
it.
end of the night. And it was just such a simple costume. And the dude that I posed with was like a claw machine, and the claw machine worked. Like you could walk up to it and you could press the buttons on it, and it would grab fucking stuffed animals and like take those bitches out of there and like drop them and all that shit. I'm like, that is absolutely unreal. Like I've never seen anything like that. And it's funny that you said you like Halloween, because I think I remember telling you when I reached out to you for the show and I was like, hey, do you mind sending a few photos of you in costume? You're like, no, not at all. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm glad you did it. And nobody else did it. Like all their graphics for this year for Halloween, everybody's wearing costumes. So I'm not going to name names, but one of the other people I've had come in and guest co-host, they basically were like, hey, we should have a guest come to you, you know, blah, blah, they would love to be on the show. I'm like, all right, cool. I got an opening in October. Let me do October. So I'm talking to them and I'm like, hey, would you mind sending us some photos of you in costume? I can't find many online. And they were like, okay, well, here's the link to my OnlyFans or whatever and all that. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I go in and like, it wanted me to sign up. And I was just kind of like, chick, I'm not paying like $25 to get into your OnlyFans just to get photos of you like in Halloween. Like, can you send me like 3 or 4? And she starts going, oh, well, if you can't, blah, 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 you know, you must not be that serious about your show, blah, 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 this, that, and another. And I'm just kind of like, chick, like what? Like, excuse me, like,
get off your high horse and just send a couple of fucking pictures.
Yeah, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, I've had guests like Natasha Nice on the show, and they've always been cool with stuff like that. Like, you go fuck yourself. And like, I'm like, we've never had an issue with any guest on the show. She's like, well, now you have one now, and then she blocked me, and I'm like, okay, whatever. And then like the guest I ended up getting in her spot, it wasn't yours. She was supposed to be on the 6th. So the guests that we ended up getting in her spot were Caitlin Bell and Crystal Rush, who are way, way bigger names than her anyways. I was just kind of like, what the fuck was that? Like, why is that such an issue? Like, you know, it's like we're doing a theme show. Like, I don't understand. It was completely insane. So then what we're going to do, we had a segment that we did way back when, months ago, and it's kind of faded away off the show because we kind of lost interest in it a little bit, but it's perfect for Halloween. So we're bringing it back. It is called Smash or Dash. So pretty much it's would you fuck this person? So you're going to smash or you're going to dash. And it is the Halloween edition. So
do I have to explain my answers?
What's
Yes.
that?
Do I have to
Of course.
explain my answer?
So what I'm going to do is I found 15
Gotta
of the
draw
most
pictures and everything.
grotesque horror movie villains of all time. And
Okay.
what you're going to do is we're going to go through them. So here,
Right.
let me get them ready. And you're going to tell us whether or not you would smash or dash. And then at the end of the month, what I'm going to do is I'm going to reveal who's the most smashable and who's the most dashable out of all of the horror movie villains. So let's see which one is good to start off with. So I think we will do this one first. And if you are a horror movie advocate, you may know who a lot of these people are. You may not. If not, I will explain to you who they are. So here is the first one. Would you smash or dash Art the Clown from
Dash the fuck away from that.
Really?
Yeah. No, dash. No, I don't want none of
You're gonna
that.
dash. So Art the Clown is a dash. So Art the Clown is a dash. So let's see. What about Candyman from the movie Candyman?
Yeah, I think that's a dash too.
All right. So no bees. You do not want the bees. What about
His beef.
Captain Spaulding from House of a Thousand Corpses? And I forgot what the sequels were.
Careful, because somebody said if you put white paint on me, I look like him a little bit. So I'm insulted by it, but okay.
So Captain Spaulding.
Dash.
Dash. All right.
Yeah.
So they're dropping like hotcakes.
You,
All
you
right,
just
so
said 2 clowns and some bugs. I mean, we got to
if you-
vary it up a little bit.
if you've seen the movie Killjoy, the old woman and her mannequin, you can choose
Do it.
one or the other out.
Smash them both. Let's do it.
Hey, wow, threesome with a mannequin.
That's an epic story. Like, yeah.
It's very strangely epic.
You can see it in the mannequin's eyes that he really wants it. Like that's the thing. Like he's been so sexually depraved his entire life. Like he needs it. He needs
He's the
this.
jealous wife that's gonna stab him in his sleep that night.
Yeah.
For
I'm
sure.
weirded out. Like, does she work the mouth with the puppet portion if they do
Oh,
oral
I don't
sex?
know. Yeah, like she works the puppet while it's happening. That'd be hilarious. What about the demon from The Exorcist?
Holy
Demon
shit.
from The Exorcist.
I don't know. That doesn't even look familiar to me, but I'd take a chance. I'd smash it.
Okay, and you can see, like, I feel like that he's seen unspeakable things in this, anyways. So you know,
Yeah, I like a bit of an adrenaline rush. I mean, it's terrifying. I can see that.
Best segment
course.
ever.
one of the classics, Mr. Freddy Krueger. Would you smash or dash Freddy Krueger?
Oh, man, the adrenaline. I think I'd have to do the smash. I'd have to bring some knives to the fight though too.
Wow.
Okay, now see, would it be weird though, like his like burnt to a crisp penis? Like I mean that like
Oh, would it not be weird? That'd be awesome. Like,
yeah,
It's
like I mean, you see the way his face is, but
It's
imagine
already ribbed.
yeah, like have you
it
ever
comes pre-ribbed.
It is, it's ribbed.
Freddy's ribbed for her pleasure?
Yeah,
Holy Jesus.
Have you
Yeah.
definitely smashing that bad boy.
have you guys ever seen the porn parody for A Nightmare on Elm Street? It is insane. And Freddy has like dick fingers all throughout it. So let me slide through some of these. So what
Wow.
about the demon from Insidious? The
Smash.
demon from Insidious.
She already hit
Yeah.
she came quick with that one.
Yeah, smash. Yeah. See, that came
Demon
smash.
from- like,
Especially those
I-
eyes, those creepy ass eyes. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
like
good.
those eyes right there. Like, I wonder what his vinegar strokes look like. If that's what his natural face looks like. Like when he's getting ready to like just come everywhere. Like
The
you
ones
know,
that
when-
change colors, to, like shoot out random superpowers and shit.
yeah,
Wow.
like he just fucking just blows himself back and all that shit. Like
Yeah, the cum starts leaking out of his eyeballs. Those are the pressure points.
all right. So
You know
let's
you're
see.
doing a good job when it starts leaking down their face.
How about Jason without his mask from Friday the 13th, Part 7?
Oh,
I have a dash on that.
You're gonna dash on Jason. Okay, Jason without. What if Jason were to have his mask on? Would that change things?
No, because I wouldn't.
I
I
see,
wouldn't. I
like-
wouldn't be fucking his face. So no.
wow.
All right, so now
Oh,
we
Jesus.
move to
Oh, Jesus
Leatherface.
Christ.
No, yeah, no. That's like one of the worst movies when I was a child.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
no, I
nightmare.
couldn't. That was horrible.
Yeah,
So
I
no,
mean,
I'm like, I want to run away right now. Can we just change that off the
Like,
screen?
You have sex with Leatherface, and he's just thinking about wearing your face throughout the whole sex.
That's really creepy. Was this
So
face the last
one,
girls, or who was that?
The next one is the Leprechaun from the Leprechaun. I mean, he's already offering you a drink. Like he's ready to go. He's wearing his little green makeup under his eyes and all that stuff, and he has his pot of gold. Like I mean,
okay, that's a valid point. If I don't know, I'd have to think about that. I was gonna say Dash, but you kind of convinced me a little bit. Like, all right, I'll take the Guinness and the pot of gold, and
you'll give it a chance. You're like, yeah. I will see where this ends up. Like,
I would, but only if, yeah. I wouldn't.
What about Michael Myers? Of course, Michael Myers isn't that grotesque or whatever and all that. Like, pretty built, stout, human.
His dick probably is too. So I'd say I'd probably smash it.
Yeah.
Michael Myers is smash. Okay.
Yeah, Michael Myers is a smash.
He's got the big broad shoulders and stuff. It carries on down below. So at least you hope it does, anyways.
What about the one and only Pinhead? Of course, shout out to Doug Bradley, who's a former guest on the show who played Pinhead in the Hellraiser franchise. What do you think about Pinhead?
That could be fun. It looks pretty kinky, especially that backdrop.
Okay.
I think I'd do Pinhead.
Like that's if you've ever seen like the Hellraiser movies have always had like that kind of like sexual bondage like type stuff to it. And I remember when we had Doug Bradley on, we asked him, we're like, does Pinhead's dick also have pins on the head of his dick? That's the thing.
Can I put some in it is the real question.
Yeah. It's like you use his nuts as a pin cushion. He's just like, give me more.
Yeah. And then maybe that's what gets him off too. He's just like, how many do you need?
So we got two left.
That's my favorite one so far. Okay.
Smash or dash Pumpkinhead?
No way.
Would you smash?
There's so many like smashable points on him. Like, look at those shoulders. They could just hop on either side.
There's like little skull elbows. They look like little skull elbows that he has right there.
What he reminds me of? I matched with this guy on Tinder like a couple of years ago. Hopefully he's not like watching us or anything or sees it sometime down the road. But his name on Snapchat was like one-legged something. I'm not gonna say what it was. And come to find out, he really was born with only one leg, and the other leg was a stump. And he wanted to fuck me with a stump.
Wow!
And I was like, that's so crazy. I was like, I don't know. I have to think about this. I never did it.
If you would have said yes, that would have been the greatest.
I saw a video. He had a really hot girl do it.
Life. And I would be like, please tell me you have video of that.
It looked like a giant penis that was just like, it was just the femur bone. I'm like, that must feel like really crazy, but it's so gross, but it's like so fascinating. So like, I always like trying new shit just to say I did it.
It's so hot because I'm like the bottom dwelling fish in the porn world. Like I've seen so much, there's not really much that impresses me anymore. And something like that. Yeah. Definitely.
I might have to go hit him up again. I don't know how I'd find him, but I might.
Like, hey, look, I need you for my loyal fans, my only fans. I need you. I need to do a Halloween.
He wanted to take a video. He knew what I did. So I was like,
I got shoulder envy.
And stump envy.
Stump envy. Yeah, I do. Hey.
Last but not
he wanted to DP. We're like,
holy Jesus. Yeah. I like it.
All right, sorry. Next
Last
one.
but not least, Farman from Return of the Living Dead.
No, dashing real fast.
I mean, look, he looks so sad. I mean, like his tar-filled penis has never probably touched a female, and I mean, look at it. Like,
and it's not going to touch me either. I don't know.
The streak continues, right?
And tar does not belong inside a vagina. We're going to keep it that way. No, you can go.
That is Smash and Dash, the Halloween edition. So we will be doing that with all of our guests all throughout this month. So I'm going to see who's the most smashable. And some of those were kind of surprising. Some of those I kind of knew where they would go, but you also don't know what people are thinking when they see those either, which is, you're just kind of like, okay, well, how's this going to work? Where are we going with this? How's this going to end up?
You don't have any vampire things there.
Yeah,
it's too easy though. They're always smashable.
Yeah, like I typed in ugly horror movie villains, and that was a lot of the stuff that came up. And what's weird is like, and if anybody's watching this at home on the stream, I could not for the life of me find like one grotesque female villain. Like
Really?
they're all like relatively hot. Like you had Megan Fox from Jennifer's Body.
I mean,
you had the girls from the Carrie movies. You had all, and
Smash.
I was just kind of like, man, like the women are still turning it up, even as villains, and still looking good, even as that. Even if you've ever seen Return of the Living Dead with the naked zombie chick, and she was naked the entire movie as a zombie, like she equally looked as good too.
How
And
about Species with Natasha Henstridge?
that's right.
Dude, I would let her kill me. I would. I would get all in there and just let her rip me to shreds.
One way to go.
Viv, of course. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. With your loyal fans, only fans, all that stuff, you're still relatively new to doing that, or because like a lot of your stuff. When I looked back, it looked like it started like mid, I think, last year or something like that, when a lot of your stuff started. So, of course, you get a lot of requests for content, all that stuff. What is the strangest requests that you've gotten so far?
I just got one, and it's actually very Halloween themed. Do you want me to find it and read it to you?
Absolutely.
Are you going to read it exact out, word for word?
Yes.
Oh, Jesus, I'm so excited. I get so excited about this.
Don't get too excited. It's really fucking sadistic and creepy. Are you ready for it? That's what I'm saying.
I still get excited for it. Oh, Jesus.
All right, give me a second. I'll pull it up in a sec. All right, I'm gonna try it. There's like a million of messages on here. You guys on FetLife by any chance?
We're on what?
Are you on FetLife by any chance? Or you know what FetLife is?
No.
That's like the creepo capital of the world. I love that platform. It's so entertaining.
Definitely send me a link to it, because that's the creepo capital of the world. I can find some good quality content from this.
It's FetLife.com.
Well, while you're finding that, someone said,
I'm not ringing.
Let's see. We got a couple of comments in here. Let's see. Splike TV is here. Shout out to Splike TV. Of course, Jason Rushman is here. Jason said Freddy looked like he had cat claws. He said the leprechaun would probably chase somebody if you would have dashed. And then Yosho, the nun. That's right. I forgot about the nun. So
the nun. Yes.
Yeah, forgot all about that.
Totally doable too. It's that whole nun thing. Like it's forbidden.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's weird because those movies are weird. Like, I don't know. Like, I've always grown up a big slasher guy. Like, I will never fully recuperate from what they did to us during Halloween Ends. Like, I will never, ever forgive David Gordon Green for what he did to that franchise in Halloween Ends. Like, and they were like, oh, Blumhouse wants to take on Friday the 13th. I'm like, you stay the fuck away from that franchise. I have Friday the 13th tattooed on my entire back. Like, you stay away from that franchise. Do not do to that what you did to Halloween. And the first two were good. Halloween and Halloween Kills, great, amazing. Yeah. But I don't know what Ends was. I think Ends was just some random movie and Michael Myers was casually there. And
he started tap dancing.
Yeah. And it's just like, what the fuck? Like, Season of the Witch was better than this. Like, I don't.
Wow.
Yeah. Like,
I got news for you, though. I think my phone is busy. It seems like Vividly Vixen has the most busiest phone ever. She's like stumped by half the stuff coming up.
I know. Yeah, you have no idea. It's like I just took a screenshot of it and I sent it to a good friend of mine, and I'm like, "Oh, that's the fastest way to find it." And like, I can't.
She's like, I can't find it now. I don't know what's happening. After all these ones I had to dash, my mind cannot process, cannot compute after seeing Pumpkinhead.
I mean, we'll take a a simulated version or a little doctored story, as long as we get the gist.
I really wanted I wanted to read it off. So it was just this guy who was pretending to be a photographer. Like, that's what all the creepers end up doing. Note
to self.
And he named himself a self-proclaimed sadistic photographer. I'm like, oh, okay. What you got? Like, let's hear it. And instead of like trying to like offer me a price or whatever to film me or whatever it was he wanted, he just went like,
offer you a child's head.
Yeah, it's like pretty much. No, he wanted to. He just dove right in and got into like very, very, very particular detail about how he wanted to put needles through my nipples at like 45-degree angles, layered in a certain order around each nipple, and then have weights hanging from them, and then fish hooks sitting on top of the nipples, weighted with a pulley system that was held between my teeth, and like.
Were you talking to Jigsaw?
Like for real, I read this and I was like, holy shit! Like my blood kind of went cold a little bit. I'm like, you want to tear my nipples off? Like, why would you
Wow.
do that? That's crazy. Like I like my nipples where they are, but like
Man.
Kind of like, hello, Philly.
it was no, it, like
I have
literally, it was the scene wasn't going to be complete until the fish hooks finished going through
Ooh.
and tearing through my nipples, and that
Oh
was.
my God.
And I'm like, yeah,
Wow.
you're not a photographer, bro. Like you
Yeah.
just belong on like Freddy Krueger shit. Like
Do
that's
better.
Was that Pinhead? Like, I mean, it may.
Do better.
Yeah. Did you find the box from Hellraiser and you opened it and that was Pinhead that was coming through and he's just kind of like, yeah, this like that's insane. That's insane. Here's the thing. Did you leave that in red? Like, can they see if you've read their messages?
not on
So
that
they can't.
content.
So that's the thing. It's like, so did you respond or are you just going to leave this guy in just suspense?
No, I responded because if you don't, like,
Yeah.
they'll just keep going. So I sent him. I said, oh well, that's not really my. You don't want to make them mad though either, because
Yeah.
there's some crazy guys out there. So
Sorry.
and it's entertaining, really. Like when you do get the kind of like crazy ones, it is entertaining as long as you know that they don't know where you live. Like I can
Yeah.
deal with that.
Wow.
But no, I just said, well, you know what? Like that's really not my cup of tea. But you could double check with with my friend so and so, and I sent him on his way, and
Oh my God.
He
never
just
heard
goes,
from him again.
he just goes,
I had someone offer me like $5,000 because he wanted to kidnap me for a weekend. Like legitimately like duct tape and like throw me in the
Oh.
trunk of a car and like
Oh my God.
I
Well,
was like, I don't think $5,000 is gonna do it.
I
Though.
think you could probably get away with getting the $5,000, but like pre-calling the police, like dialing 911,
Maybe.
hanging
Not
up,
bad.
Yeah,
and then like when he like the
walk
police
in
show
fully
up
loaded,
as he's
like, all right,
kidnapping
got my
you, and
Glock,
you
get out of here.
have $5,000 plus he gets arrested. That'd be the
I don't know. I feel
That's
like
not bad.
someone like that needs to be shot. So I mean,
Wow.
Yeah.
Man.
like, I might just have to take care of it myself, right? Like that's self-defense.
Did you guys see the video? It was going around. My wife showed me the TikTok of it, and it was of this YouTuber that kept fucking with this dude in the mall.
Yeah.
And the dude just kept on getting like the dude had enough. And the dude was like, leave me alone. And dude shot homeboy in the leg. Like he just pulled out a gun, he's like, ah! And the guy was like, ah. And I was just like, well, I mean, you were asked at least twice to stop. And then you got popped in the leg. And like now they're going through like all kinds of like the guy that shot him kind of didn't really get like he's facing like jail time, but not for shooting him because they kind of deemed it a little bit of self-defense. But he's facing jail time for firing a gun in a mall. So, that's the whole thing. But, I don't think he really particularly cares because he's like, fuck this guy. Like this guy, his world's a lot more bent out of shape than what mine currently is. So fuck him.
I found it.
Oh yes.
Actually, I didn't find it. I can't take credit for that. It was sent to me from someone who's watching. So, yeah, you want me to read it?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. It started off with like, oh, statistic photographer, blah 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 blah. And I said, okay, sure. What do you have? What do you propose? If you are down this way, perhaps we could have a shoot. Have you looked at my photos? Some ideas would be, I would start by having you naked, suspended by your arms over your head. I'd begin by playing with your nipples. I would roll them between my fingers and then pinch them. I would suck them before biting down on them. Next, I would use needles at the very base of the actual nipple, where it joins the areola. On each nipple, there would be one shoved down vertically, then one shoved horizontally from the outside in. Then 2 down at a 45-degree angle. A heavy string with a slip knot would be tied around the nipples behind the needles and led behind your neck to support the nipples as a fish hook with a 12-ounce weight placed on top of each nipple just forward of the needles. You would be whipped and flogged, causing the fish hooks to dig deeper and finally through the nipples. The weights would be removed and heavy strings attached to the fish hooks led to small pulleys overhead and pulled tight and tied to the string behind your neck. The whipping and flogging would continue, and each time you flinched, the fish hooks would pull on the nipples. The last part of the situation would be when the fish hooks are removed and the barbs catch as they are removed from the nipples. I would like to see a video of this happening to you.
Okay, so he's not doing that too. He would like to see a video of that
No, but he wanted to do it. I'm looking for an
Okay.
attractive model who would pose in BDSM themed photos. Decided to ask if you would be interested in
Who in
discussing
the
things.
hell?
He wants to do it
wonder-
too, man. Yeah.
I wonder how many, I bet you he copy, edit, and pasted that. I wonder how many people are out there that got that same message.
I get a lot of crazy ones, but I haven't seen one that's like that
Man.
long and detailed. I mean, I've gotten a couple, but it's not that sadistic as far as like I've gotten a bunch of like really weird ones. But yeah, those ones like that, it's like they've had that fantasy for so long and they haven't been able to fulfill it. So it just keeps growing and growing and growing and growing. And then it's like, and then that's, when you get to the end of the day or the end of their lifetime, and all of a sudden they're like, I never got to do that. Then boom, they're killing people. So
next they want to be eating Taco Bell.
Yeah, next thing,
Taco Bell.
next thing you know, they're like, "Hello, I'd like to play a game," and then you're just kind of like, the Saw movie was based off of actual events,
right? Oh,
what the fuck? That is by far one of the most amazing things I've heard in the longest time. And I mean, that's the thing. If you don't want that read on a podcast, you probably shouldn't send weird shit like that. So. But now, like, just the detail that he got into, like this dude has a head in his freezer without question. There is a head in his freezer somewhere. like he just.
And I'm afraid which head.
Yeah, he picks it up and like he's pierced all of like the eyelids and the nose and the tongue and all that himself with like fish hooks and like paper clips and stuff. And he's like, "Look at your head. Look at all of these amazing little piercings that I've done." He has them like, you ever see like Halloween, you go into like a Halloween store and you see his heads like hanging by like hooks, and like that's what it looks like, but it's a real fucking head. And you're just kind of like, yeah, what the, like pizza guy comes and he's like, "Hey, what's that, dude? Don't worry about what you've seen here. Like this dude eats like fucking nipples on pizza or some shit."
He uses them as a bait when he goes fishing.
Like he's like today's Ed Gein. He just puts them on a fishing rod and just casts them out. Just here we go.
I got them Vixen nipples. I'm gonna catch a big one today.
I wonder what fish would bite for a nipple. Like
fish bite for anything. I mean, like I walked in the water and I poured some like fish blood, like just to rinse like the board off or something. I don't remember what I was doing. And like it was instantaneous. My feet were getting just attacked by a swarm of fish.
Wow.
It was like 12 in the morning, so you couldn't see anything. I jumped probably 20 feet in the air and like took off back to shore. I screamed like a little bitch. But
so,
yeah,
of course, correct me if I'm wrong. You're from Florida, correct?
I live in Florida. I'm not from
in Florida. All right, where are you originally from?
Canada.
Canada.
Oh,
okay.
wow.
So you're from Canada. Okay. So with Canada, of course, there's a lot of urban legends out there. So is there, from where you're from in Canada, is there any renowned urban legend that you know of that everybody talked about while you were growing up or anything like that? Like any kind of haunting or known monster or, something like that?
I mean, there was a school that they took all of like, it's not a haunting, it's a real thing, but now schools like really crazy. They used to do a whole bunch of like medical experiments and stuff on the kids of the
Whoa, what?
Yeah, like the Canadian government did it. And there's a whole documentary on it and shit too. So like the school part, the building is still there, but it was on all of the Native Americans and whatnot. And just like
shit, really?
It was I think it was back in I'm probably wrong, but I think it happened back in the 60s or so.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Wow.
Yeah. Like hundreds, I think like hundreds, if not like thousands of kids were just taken away from their families and then experimented on. And
well, I mean, you said it wasn't a haunting. It's definitely a haunting now.
Like, yeah.
It's like demonic haunting, especially knowing the fact that it has Native American roots. That is definitely demonic haunting. And the reason I ask is last year we did Maryland urban legends, which I'm a Maryland boy. So, and we couldn't get to all of them. I discovered a couple of more. So what we're going to do, we're going to get into one now. And this one is, it's called the Halloween Town. And this happened in Port Tobacco, Maryland. It is the legend of the Blue Dog. The legend of the Blue Dog. So it says, if you're looking for buried treasure, I wouldn't go to Port Tobacco to find it. At nearby Rose Hill, a legend has lived for more than 200 years about buried gold and the spiritual protector of that small fortune. The ephemerical guardian of colonial treasure is not your typical ghost. This spirit has 4 legs. The Charles County Blue Dog legend has been around for more than 2 centuries and is not surprising. Purported to be the oldest ghost story in America, it's a good one. There seems to be some confusion on whether the story originates from the colonial period or the time of the Civil War. Most versions focus on the 18th century when soldier Charles Thomas Sims and a blue tick hound stepped into one of the many taverns said to inhabit the colonial town. We know the date was February 8th. Most legends take place, the story just after the American Revolution. Sims' tongue was loosened by the libations he had consumed and began bragging about the quantity of gold that he had on his property, along with the deed to the property as well. Henry Hennes of Port Tobacco and his friends were listening. Sims enumerated over and over again about how good his fortune had been. When the soldier started off from the tavern, he got as far as Rose Hill Manor in Charles County before he was confronted by Hanos and his friends who demanded his money and the deed to the house. Sims was killed in the confrontation, and his blue tick hound was also slain, valiantly trying to defend his master. Legend has it that both the dog and the man died atop the large stone at Rose Hill. Hanos took his stolen loot and buried it along with the deed under the holly tree that grew somewhere along the Rose Hill Road. When he went back later to retrieve the treasure, he was confronted by the ghost of the huge blue tick hound. Some versions of the story claim that the dog was part mastiff, dogs bred for kings in ancient England. Either way, the blue dog is a large dog of significant size, girth, and could apparently literally frighten you to death. Shortly after his encounter, Hanos took sick and fell fatally ill. Reports of the blue dog's ghost began surfacing years following the soldier's death. During the American Civil War, General Joseph Hooker. Could you imagine having the last name Hooker? Like, General Hooker, come here, General. I'm sure like there's been like women who have dressed up like a hooker for like a soldier hooker and called themselves General Hooker.
I like that.
Yeah.
You have some good ideas. You should start writing these down.
Right?
General Hooker, who temporarily led the Grand Army of the Potomac until a disastrous rout of Chancellorsville got him on the hook, if you will, from President Abraham Lincoln, camped some 12,000 Union troops in the western shore of Charles County. From October 1861 through March 1862, Hooker maintained his headquarters at the Chicksamoxon Methodist Church. The fascinating side note to the story is that Hooker's camps resembled brothels. Hooker's camps resembled brothels, and members of the world's oldest profession followed the camps wherever they went. The original slang of hooker for prostitute comes from this historical oddity. I never knew that.
I was just about to say, I wonder if that's where the name came from. Okay,
Yeah, so
that's cool.
Yeah.
All right.
We're having a history lesson tonight.
Some of Hooker's men heard the blue dog legend and decided
Hooker's
that they
men.
would find and dig up the buried treasure. When they went to abscond the money, they allegedly found themselves confronted by the luminous specter of the huge blue tick hound who aggressively challenged them to such an extent they gave up with they gave up on the ghost. And then it just goes over a couple of other stories, but man, that's pretty crazy. Like they have a little photo, like illustration of what like people have claimed to see of the ghost dog, and that like basically like it says Maryland's oldest town, so you see like the signs, all that stuff. General Joseph Hooker right here, so that's like, you know, legitimate, like where his camp was, and then that's the image of the blue tick hound on top of where his master was slain or whatever. And apparently that treasure has never been found, but this house is now owned by the county. So the county now owns that property, so people aren't really allowed on it. But just imagine that. So you hear the legend of a treasure and it's like, okay, let's go find this. Like, so Viv, you're with friends, they're like, hey, you know, we heard the story of like this big giant dog, you know, and you show up. It's like, would you be more afraid of encountering the ghost dog or encountering the ghost of Joseph Hooker? Like, I mean, I don't know if I want to deal with a ghost hooker. Like, I mean, he would obviously be like, his last name's, you know, Hooker. So it's ghost hooker or ghost dog. Which would you?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think that animals are naturally like better at reading other people, like people and other animals, like energy and stuff. So I think a dog would be able to say I wasn't a threat. So I'd probably be more worried about meeting the hooker daddy.
Hooker daddy.
Like I feel like with the ghost dog, I'm like my wife would see the ghost dog and she'd be like, "Oh, come here, and this ghost dog's just ready.
Come be my pet.
Yeah, just ready to rip your face.
I don't even have to feed you. It would be perfect.
What-
You can
what
just come
even
and you
is
can
a
be my
blue
guard dog.
Let's see. I don't even know
Did
what
you
a
just
blue,
say you don't know what a blue tick coonhound is? Is that what you just said?
yeah,
Oh my
like,
gosh. How do you not know what a blue tick coonhound is?
Okay, blue tick
It's a
dog.
southern hunting dog.
Oh, okay. So here.
Yeah,
So let me
we're all learning.
tell me if this is indeed what that dog is. Is that what? So apparently they said it must have been mixed with Mastiff because they said it was a very, very large dog. So this is what the blue tick coonhound looks like. So that's a beautiful dog. I like that. I would totally get one of those dogs. It's a very,
Not
very
anymore.
They're really loud and they're hound. Anything that says hound in it, they never shut up and they don't listen. They run all over the place and they follow their nose and then it's end game. Like they can't hear. If their nose is on, their ears are off. So
Man,
wow.
your canine lesson from Miss Vividly Vixen.
Yeah.
I worked in animal medicine for 15 years. So
All right. Hey, yeah. I was impressed either way. I'm like, man.
So you worked
we
in
can keep
animal
going all
medicine.
night. We'll do trivia, animal trivia. Next
Worked in
time.
animal medicine for 15 years. How many times were you bit?
I bad. I almost died once. I have a scar. I have a scar on my arm actually, which I'm wearing long sleeves, so you can't see it. But I was in the hospital for like 4 days on that one. I almost died of sepsis.
Wow, you a bear?
No, it was a dog. It was a pit bull,
Oh.
but the owners had drugged the dog before, like I said, sedated him before he came in, and they didn't tell me, and it was like the chart said like, oh, he was an angry dog, be cautious, careful, whatever. And the dog was fine, and I went back there and gave him shots and all that stuff. And then when I brought him back up, I'm like, yeah, the owners are really worried about it. And I'm like, no, he was great. I walked in, I was super confident, dropped the leash, and like let him go over there, and he turned around and looked at me like he put himself in front, like he was protecting his family, and like looked at me, and then kind of walked over to me. I'm like, no, he was good. I'm trying to like reassure the people, as part of the job. I'm like, hey, come to the vet's office. It's so much fun, And then because I was like, comfortable, and because I didn't have any issues, I didn't know he's sedated, and that specific sedation, any kind of adrenaline, like spike in it would instantly nulls and voids the sedative, and I didn't know he was sedated, or I wouldn't have acted the way I did. Yeah, so he looked up at me and made the eye contact. I'm like, oh shit, and it was split second, and he lunged for my face, and I went like that, and he ended up grabbing my arm and like hanging off of my arm, and it sucked. It sucks. But I have another one on my ass cheek too. It's a little older. That was a cane Corso. He was a 130-pound dog. He bit me. That was bad. You could shove a whole Q-tip in my butt cheek and it would just disappear.
Oh, fuck.
I got a cat bite here. It went right through, like in between like the radius and ulna, and like it was like my arm was the size of a baseball bat for like within 20 minutes. It was huge. So yeah, I've been bit a time or two.
So Viv, what we're going to do real quick, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to play some ads from some of our friends. And then when we come back, we're going to get into our wild game segment. So
I need to time out. Oh my God.
Yeah. So what we're going to do right here on a YouTube live, we're going to take a quick, probably about a 4-minute break right here on the Happy Hour podcast. And we'll be right back in about 4 minutes or so right here on YouTube Live, Fire TV, and Roku.
Hi, this is Doug Bradley, Pinhead from the Hellraiser movies, and you are listening to the Happy Hour podcast, and you'd better keep listening or I will tear your soul apart.
Yes.
Derek Sharp, the owner of Curtain Jerker Designs, who does an amazing job. I'm blown away every single time, and his speed that he has getting everything back to us is immaculate.
Hit up Derek with Curtain Jerker Designs.
Look no further than Curtain Jerker Designs. Make sure you hit up Derek.
Derek Sharp, man. Hey, just want to say thank you for the posters, all the hard work you put into, man. We really appreciate you, man.
A shout out to Derek Sharp from Curtain Jerker Designs. Yo, dude, just want to say, this poster, off the hook.
Hey, what's up, players? This is Hall of Famer Teddy Long, and I want to give a big shout out to my man Derek over there with Curtain Jerkers Designs.
If you are looking for the best graphics, the best designs, look up Curtain Jerker. I did.
Curtain Jerker Designs. That's who I use for any of my graphic designs, and you should too. Thanks, Curtain Jerker Designs.
Big old shout out to Curtain Jerker Designs. You see that? You see that beauty? That's all you, Curtain Jerker.
Hello, wrestling promoters. The Big Valboski wants to give you a big tip. If you're looking for a graphic designer to do your next events, promotional posters, hit up Derek at Curtain Jerker Designs.
A lifelong wrestling fan, as we all are. I went through the part with the reffing, and I got to a part where I did ring announcing. I did everything there was to do. I had a match. But because I have that background, that's where I stepped in and said, hey, like, I do flyers. Let me help you guys out.
Ready, girls? I'm ready. I'm triple ready.
I can't believe we lost.
Let's get him!
Yeah, well, if the Black Ranger had been there, we would have been just fine.
Where's the Black Ranger? We need him. He's too strong. We're losing. Don't give up, Rangers. We've got this. Let's power up.
Sorry, guys. Fell asleep. All right, I'm ready.
Really? You weren't there.
We needed you, and you abandoned us.
Yeah, and you're lucky if we don't turn our dildos on you.
If you don't have sex with us right now and help us recharge, then we're gonna tell Zordon.
Please don't tell Zordon. I'll do it.
Okay, girls, let's go.
With OnlyFans, what do you think is the oddest request you've ever got, and what is the most requested thing that you get on your OnlyFans?
So the most requested is obviously like JOIs and cum eating tutorials, things like that.
Make me feel normal then.
And someone's like, okay, I want you to treat me as if I'm in the city and Godzilla is destroying it. However, you are Godzilla stomping the city to death, and I need you to just start at that point. Like it's kind of sucks because do you have to like stomp your phone at that point? Like,
Hey, it's Karina Kova, and you're watching the Happy Hour podcast.
ladies and gentlemen, it's the Happy Hour podcast. Of course, we are here on YouTube Live. We are streaming live right here on YouTube. Of course, we are on Pod Nation TV, and you are seeing us on Roku and Fire TV as well. And of course, shout out to Team Skeet. As you know, you saw one of their trailers there. Make sure you go over to Team Skeet, use the promo code Happy Hour, all capital letters, get 25% off your membership over at Team Skeet for doing that. Also, you saw the clip of Super Pod Friends, which is something that they're doing over on Pod Nation TV. They're taking random various audio clips from all of our shows and throwing them into the Justice League cartoon, which is a non-copyrighted show. So we're allowed to get away with doing that because copyrights didn't exist then. It is considered a free use program. So make sure you look out more for Super Pod Friends as time goes on. So Viv, what we're going to do is we are going to get into our game segment. So the first game that we are going to play is called Extreme Personal Questions. So Extreme Personal Questions, there's two questions on the card. They're random questions, question A and question B. You don't know what either question is until you choose one or the other. So do you feel lucky with question A or question B? B? Oh,
sorry,
can't
B.
hear you.
Yeah, forgot I did that part. No wonder why I was so quiet.
Question B. Where is the weirdest place you have ever had a sexual encounter?
What kind of sexual encounter? Like personally, or like one that I witnessed, or like one that I filmed, or like
I would say personally. Where
I've personally been involved in the weirdest place I've ever done sex stuff.
Yeah.
It's a weird place. I mean, I wish I could say a graveyard, but that's not. Maybe I'll have to knock that off
You
the bucket
can.
list. Yeah, I'll get that done this month.
Submit your emails too.
It definitely wasn't having hooks put through your nipples and
Oof.
suspended and all that in some weird guy's grandmother's basement. Like that's, yeah.
No, I don't know, man. I don't know. What's a weird place? I don't know what a weird place is. I mean, I've done it. I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know. I'm not thinking of anything that's like coming right up off the top of my head.
Like a confessional in a church or something like that. Like, is there anything?
Okay,
Wow.
well, this was a long time ago. So don't judge me, but I had sex I was at a beach, and then I had sex like in the water, and that was maybe like 20 yards away from my family.
Wow. See, that's the part that got weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they know
like,
what was happening?
My God, this is bad.
I don't know how I didn't know, but I mean, like my grandma, my aunt, like my whole family was there. Like, it's gonna be.
Hi, grandma.
You're just getting doggy in the water, and they're just kind of like, "Oh, look at the way they're swimming over there." Like that's just, what's happening here? So,
they're giving leg hugs. What is this?
That's my granddaughter.
Why is he pulling her hair like that? I don't understand why they're doing that in the water. Like,
yeah.
You chose.
Oh, I mean, honestly, well, here's another weird place people might not think. Because I used to work in the surgery room, so I've had lots of sex in surgery room, and radiology, the ultrasound room, and all shit like that. Yeah.
Really?
You're gonna survive.
Over the back of a freezer that's filled with like dead animals. That's kind of weird. Now you got me on the hospital train of thought. I'm like, okay, yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff there. Okay.
I said on the show before, I used to work when I was younger. I used to work at a bowling alley, and I was a mechanic there. And back in the area where all the pin setters and all that were, it was so loud you could literally murder a human being back there. You would never hear anything. So there were things that happened back there that the staff never knew happened because of how loud it was. So so that was a fun one. And so since you chose question B, question A, you're now going to choose myself or Jeff to answer question A.
You.
All right. So me. So question A, what has been your worst experience in the wilderness? Worst experience in the wilderness. See, I'm not really a big campy person. So I think the worst experience I had in the wilderness was when we almost burned an entire cabin down. We went to Westmoreland State Park in Virginia, and this was, I think we were 22. We were all 22 at this point, so we're still like well into just the legal drinking age, even though we had been drinking since we were about 17. And we started the bonfire. So we cut down a tree. We threw the whole entire tree into the bonfire, and the bonfire was higher than the cabin itself. And the park ranger came, told us to put it out. And little did we know that my friend's brother took the gas can and he took it inside the cabin. And he put it on top of the fireplace.
Oh, Jesus.
And the fireplace was on. So thankfully, somebody went in there and go to sleep and saw the gas can just starting to melt on top of the fireplace. So if it would have melted, that probably would have blown the entire cabin up. So I think that would be it right there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get into incoherent. So incoherent, pretty much, Viv, what we're going to do, we're going to show a series of cards up on the screen. They're going to be in drunken lingo. You need to sound out these cards and see if you can figure out what these cards say. So let me just go ahead and get these ready, and then we'll pull them up on here, and we're going to see if you can figure out what these say. So boom. So what do you think this card says? And there are hints. So if you need a hint, just let me know. Good thing to do is to sound them out fast. You'll kind of hear yourself say that. One of the hints is reading material.
Porn magazine.
It is porn.
Yeah.
The
I
other
was
hint
almost there too. You didn't have to give me the hint. I
it
was so close.
So there's that one. So, and of course, for everybody watching at home, this game is always yearly as our HHPod Rumble. Speaking of which, Johnny Goodluck had to film tonight, so Johnny Goodluck couldn't come in to be the guest co-host tonight. Of course, he was our inaugural HHPod Rumble champion, which features this game. We bring back 30 former guests. We play this game, and the winner gets a custom-made legit championship belt that we send out to him. Shout out to Jupiter Jetson, who won it this year. So here's the next card. What do you think this card says? What do you think that says?
Dry fit tampons. I don't know. That's the first thing that came in. That might have been a little more dyslexic.
That was right.
I don't think it is either.
It is not tampons.
I think I got it.
One of the hints is sitting on my legs. A twerking tutorial made just for you.
I don't twerk. I'm a white girl. I can't dance with shit.
Oh, babe.
Yeah, it is what it is. I own it. But
No.
I'm awkward as shit. You throw some dance music, go, okay, let's do it. My skills are elsewhere, and I'm okay with that.
I'm in love.
So, Viv, what do you think? You gonna tap out on this one?
Something lap dance.
The last part is lap dance. So you have that part. So you do have it's something lap dance. So pretty much when you're in a strip club, where does the lap dance normally happen? And what is that considered when it's happening there?
Champagne room. Sorry.
I mean, on your lap. Try that.
Normally when you have sex in what? Like it's you and somebody else. So you're having sex in what? With nobody else involved.
Movies. Oh, sorry.
Sometimes.
With nobody else involved. Well, you're making me even more confused now. Talking about twerking and then and yeah.
Next it's gonna be nipples and fish hooks.
Right. So Jeff, do you know what the first word is?
Yeah, it's private.
It is private.
Okay, yeah, okay, all right. I was stuck on that dry fit. Damn it. Okay, I feel like that's not a very comfortable sounding lap dance.
All right, so here's the last one. The last one is right here. So why is that showing up so damn small? All right, so sometimes when I take pictures of these, they end up really tiny. So I'm gonna have to do it the old school way, which is like this. So what do you think that says? One of the hints is your number of partners.
Your hints are like horrible. I just make me more confused.
This could also be considered, I guess that this term could be considered for a serial killer as well. Your number of partners, but also a serial killer can have this.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is
I have no idea.
body count.
Body count.
Yeah, body.
Wow,
that says pot. I don't know. That's really off.
Potty count.
Potty count. Okay. Yeah. All right.
So what we're gonna do is there's
in my defense, I've had 2 hours of sleep in like 3 days. So
no, you're fine. You're fine. So we also do a game called Super Fight. So what we used to do is with Super Fight, we used to leave it up to the live stream, but the live stream would keep failing us. We trying to figure out an answer. So what it pretty much is we round off a character card, a power-up card, and a weapon card for each side. And then we simulate kind of a fight, kind of like who would win type thing. And then we argue out who we think would win this fight. So the first one is a Spartan that is on stilts that throws bears. A Spartan that is on stilts, and he throws bears. And he is going to be fighting a carny that is armed with a tranquilizer gun, but is also armed with a chainsaw. So, a carny that is armed with a tranquilizer gun and armed with a chainsaw that is fighting a Spartan that is on stilts and throws bears. What do you think, Bib? Who do you think would win this super fight?
The carny.
The carny?
The carny all day. Carnies are pretty are pretty tough people, you know. Like,
Wow.
and this really is the thing. So there's actually when I first moved to Florida in like 2004, it was very close to where all the carnies would go for the summer months or the winter months, I can't remember. And yeah, there's some they'd have like elephants in their backyards and shit. It was pretty-
Wow.
tigers and everything. But yeah, there's some weird shit. Yeah, no, carnies. Carnies are scary. I would go with the carny. A Titan on stilts just sounds really unstable.
Jeff, what about you? Who do you think? Well, you think a Spartan on stilts that throws bears, or a carny armed with a tranquilizer gun and is armed with a chainsaw?
I tell you, at first I was heading Spartan, but after hearing Viv's description, I got to go with the carny too. The carnies are fearless. Nothing breaks a carny, dude. Tranquilizer gun, just keep popping people in the neck, and the chainsaw, God only knows what he's cutting off with that chainsaw. He's a carny. He don't give a shit.
Like, I don't know. Like, I was thinking Spartan too, because I mean, of course, Spartans are like super strong. And I mean, I don't know how a Spartan will walk on stilts though, but throwing bears like that, like, how's he throwing the bears? Like, is he like throwing them by their legs above his head, or is he throwing them like a football? Like, I mean, it's gonna need to take no, because see, the carny is armed with a tranquilizer gun and a chainsaw, so he can tranquilize the bear and then just kind of chainsaw.
Well, I feel like if a Titan's throwing a bear, by the time it lands in the ground, it's probably not going to be alive. So what's the purpose?
Dude, the carny would take that bear, wrap a big bow around it, and put it up for the next contest. Step right up and win the big bear. So
Exactly.
carnies, yeah, come on, you
throw
got
a little
enough.
tutu on him and throw him up on the pedestal and like, you know, get the
Yeah, I know.
ringmaster in there with a whip. I mean, yeah, they got that.
I
All
want to
right,
go to a carnival with Viv just once. That's my weird request. I just want to go to a carnival.
All right, let's do it.
So I'm gonna say the carny, armed with a tranquilizer gun and armed with a chainsaw, has defeated the Spartan on stilts and throws bears. So Vib, have you ever played Cards Against Humanity?
Hell yeah.
Okay, so we do Cards Against Humanity on the show. Of course, we can't have cards in front of you on the show. We kind of get like a little kind of out of control with as many cards that would have to be shown. So what we do is we do Cards Against Humanity roulette. It's kind of like the first game. We're going to read off the black face card, and then you're going to choose a lucky number 1 through 6 of randomly drawn cards to answer that. If you don't like the answer, you get 2 rebuttals to choose 2 other answers. So the first one is, you city folk would never understand the quiet dignity of blank. So what do you think? 1 through 6?
Go with 4.
4. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So you city folk would never understand the quiet dignity of Dorito breath.
There's not much dignity in that, but
No.
that kind of makes sense.
So do you want to hold with Dorito breath, or do you want to rebuttal and choose a different card?
House rebuttal. Just do a different card. Let's do
All right, cool.
5.
So you want to do 5. All
Yeah.
right. So you city folk would never understand the quiet dignity of active listening.
Oh yeah. That's I mean that's true. That's valid. I mean, that's a real thing. All right, we'll go with that one.
All right. You're gonna hold with that? You don't want to use the last rebuttal?
Well, we can use the last one. Can I go back to it if I like that one better?
So, you can go back to the Dorito breath if you like that one better.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so like so let's do the last card. Let's see what it says.
All right. So what number do you want?
2.
2. All right. You city folk would never understand the quiet dignity of a joyless vegan patty.
Oh God.
There's no joy in that whatsoever.
There's no quiet. There's no dignity in that at all.
No dignity, no joy.
No.
Sorry.
So those last 3 will go in for next week. So we have another one. So this one is blank. Awesome in theory, kind of a mess in practice. Blank. Awesome in theory, kind of a mess in practice. What do you think? 1 through 6?
3.
3. All right, so 3. All right. The $1 beefy Fritos burrito from Taco Bell. Awesome in theory, kind of a mess in practice.
That makes sense.
Satisfied with that, or do you want to choose another card?
Choose a different one.
All right, what do you?
5.
5. All right, so 5. AIDS. Awesome in theory, kind of a mess in practice.
I would think it'd be the other way around. Awesome in practice.
Right, yeah.
like that's kind of how you get that, right? Like,
wow. Now
So
that's insightful. I'm blown away there. Well done on your feet. Like, boom.
So are you going to hold with AIDS or are you going to use your last rebuttal?
let's do another rebuttal then. Let's do card number 1.
Card number 1. Being fat. Awesome in theory, kind of a mess, or kind of a mess in practice.
Okay.
I think AIDS was the best one. So
AIDS was a good
3
one.
cards will go
Maybe
in.
I'm
Those
saying
will
that.
also be for next week. So that is our game segment. So Viv, with everything that you do with your scenes, have you sustained any kind of porn related injuries yet?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
What were some of the porn related injuries you've had so far?
Wow.
That I've had or that I've inflicted?
Either or.
That's usually what it is.
Yeah, say both. Say both. I'm intrigued by both now.
Oh God. Yeah, I don't know. I've had recently I have had a spout of like it was like every time with the same person, and there'd be something different each time, and normally it was me that would start bleeding from somewhere, whether it's like a random cut or whatever. And then the one time it wasn't, I was shoving his cock down my throat, and like it's shaped in a way that it doesn't really want to go down there, not because I can't handle it, just because it's thick and it doesn't want to go in that direction. And he was just cramming it in there anyways. I'm like, all right, give it to me. And then got it in there, and the next thing you know, there's like just blood pouring out of his dick, like because my throat was too tight, and it's just like it and he thought it was me, and he's like, well, you're bleeding. I'm like, fuck, again. And I'm like looking down, like it's on my arm, it's on my chest, like I'm not bleeding. Like, dude, that's you. Like that's you. It's all on camera too. We got the
It
whole
was
thing
like a
on film.
blood cum shot. Jesus.
But it was kind of hot though. Like it was actually really hot.
No
I'm not gonna
wonder
lie.
why
It wasn't
she
kind of.
would
It was
hook up
really
with
hot.
Freddie. No wonder why she chose Freddie.
Yeah, no, it was super hot. I was like, hey, like, I was worried that he was freaking out, because guys are like little bitches when it comes to blood most of the time.
Yeah.
But me working in hospital, I was like, yeah, like, can we keep going? Like, so are we good? Are we good? You good to go? Like I like this. And then but I was worried about him freaking out. And then once it was established that he didn't really give a shit, and he wasn't hurt, he was just like, okay, I don't know what happened. Maybe popped a blood vessel or something. Yeah, and then I just went, like, I licked it off. Like God, just kept going. It was fucking awesome. It was hot, and it's on video. I'll release it at some point. I just have to.
Nice. Let me know when that's out. Like I have to see it. And what's funny is like I'm not weird with my own blood. I'm weird with other people's blood. Like of course, like me coming from the pro wrestling background, like I bled like a stuffed pig in my matches before. Like that's the way it works. But like if I'm around somebody else that's bleeding, I'm just kind of like, whoa. And I don't know if it's the kind of thing like when I was growing up, like my dad, when he was in Vietnam, he ended up getting hepatitis C. So it's one of those things that it was one of those ones that like it can only be transferred from blood to blood. Like, and people were always like, well, how come you don't have it? I'm like, well, semen doesn't have enough blood in it to actively transfer that. So growing up, it was one of those things where I had to be careful of, using his razor or, whatever, all that shit. So I think that's where that kind of comes into play, is that I'm just aware of somebody else bleeding. Meanwhile, it made no sense because I would be wrestling and I'd be bleeding, they'd be bleeding, and it'd just be like, oh, well, this is all fuck this shit anyways. Like,
you have more important things on the brain.
Yeah. So with that, man, I don't think there's anything that you can say that can beat the fucking blood sprinkler that just came out of this dude's like dick or whatever and all that stuff. Like,
no, yeah, it was pretty spectacular, and it didn't just stop either. Like it was it even like the next morning, it was still going. Like it was, any kind of like stimulation to the area. It was like, oh, bleeding again. And it was for a couple of days. Yeah, it was yeah, it was cool. It was hot.
What were there any attempts to do anything to try to stop the blood flow? Like did you sit there? I'm sitting there.
Yeah, I stopped it all right.
Yeah.
She jumped right to the point. I'm sitting there like, maybe you take a rubber band and just flip that thing around tight to where
I wanna
like
see how much more I can get out of there. Like,
Oh my God.
Let me get this out here. Now, mind you, it's red now, but eventually it's going to look like when you mix ketchup and mayonnaise together, or ketchup and mayonnaise together. That's what it's going to look like eventually.
It's gonna look like those old lifesavers. Used to be a creamsicle lifesaver.
Yeah, the
Something
cream-
like that a little bit. Yeah.
Common blood cream savers. Like, just imagine that. Like, you sit there like right into a dish, and then like you just make them into candy. Common blood cream savers. That
Coming this Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Will you be my Valentine?
Not fair, because I would, but that result. Wow.
Yeah. So there's an inside joke of like they call me the dick shark because I like dicks bleed and I like dicks, and so I'm like always on the prowl, for one specific specific dick. But yeah, that just happened to be the one that bled a lot too. So
my nickname is also the shark. So I'm done here. I'm done.
Well, I'm the dick shark because I
Right, there's a little difference.
That is the name of this episode, the Dick Shark.
Yes.
Episode 186, the Dick Shark.
Yes.
Is that a dick shark? Look at that thing. That looks like a dick. A little bit. Like a dick
It looks like a dick like a shark dildo.
Have you ever seen one of
So-
those? Like, Bad Dragon has all kinds of like crazy dildo. We saw at Exotica, we saw this like weird like octopus tentacle one that was like,
I have it.
My arm. Oh, nice. Speaking of which, do you do any of the conventions?
Yeah, I was at Exotica in Miami, and then I was at FetCon in St. Pete this year. I was at FetCon last year too. But
Nice. Have you had any strange convention experiences?
Yes. Yeah.
It came to her and she got so excited. I love it.
Okay, so my significant other that I've been like enamored with for forever, and he's finally like decided that he likes me too, which is pretty awesome.
Good man.
He came up to St. Pete to go to FetCon with me, and we hadn't seen each other in probably like maybe a month or 6 weeks or so. We live pretty far apart from each other, and he got there like he had 10 minutes to change before we went to red carpet night, and so he gets there and like, all right, what am I wearing? We're doing this, Like, we didn't get time to like, we didn't have time to do that. We just like ran out the door. So then we're there at FetCon, and we're mingling on the red carpet and blah, 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 blah. And I had to go pee or something. And when I came back, I saw him like looking at me. I walk over and he like whispered in my ear. He's like, don't react, but in about 10 seconds, you're going to turn around and you're going to stroll with purpose to the men's bathroom, go to the far stall on the left-hand side and close the door, and I'll meet you there. I'm like, oh fuck yeah. So like I was like, but like my heart was just racing and I'm super horny. And then I'm like, oh my God, all these people, I gotta go in the men's bathroom. Like, okay, this is really crazy. The whole adrenaline junkie thing, I guess. And I just like walked in there. I'm like, yeah, I'm owning it. I'm a dude right now. I'm walking in this. I'm like, I feel like a retard, but I was just so excited. I didn't care. And we went into the far stall, the bathroom, and then he comes in there, and we took some video of it. We got a lot of like cool little GIFs and stuff of it. It was so hot. And then he actually he starts fucking me in the ass. And then there was guys that were coming in and out of the bathroom, but they couldn't see us. Obviously, they could hear us. And all of a sudden, like clears out. I think we heard some like noise or something, or I don't know what exactly. I don't remember per se. But then there was like a woman's voice that came into the bathroom. Was like, "You guys need to get out of here." And we're like, "What? Like, how,
not quite yet."
We had just finished.
How'd they know we were here? It was the blood sprinkling over the that was giving it away.
Yeah. No, so what actually happened was that someone pulled the fire alarm and the whole building had to be evacuated. So here's everybody at FetCon. Like there's like 1,000 people right there at like going red carpet, whatever. And like they're all outside of the hotel waiting for the all clear to be given.
Yeah.
We like walk out and like, okay, we'll sneak out. No, we are the only 2 left. Everybody at FetCon was waiting for us to clear the building.
Wow.
And like we were basically paraded like right out through the doors, like to the top of the stairwell, and like, all right, building's clear now. And then like everybody, they opened the doors and let us everybody back in. But it was like you couldn't be any more like, yeah, these motherfuckers over here, like they were what was holding everybody up because they were in there fucking the whole time while the fire alarm was going on. But I don't even think we really heard the fire alarm. But so that was really awesome and horrifying and like, yeah, embarrassing.
Just fucking in the stall. It's like, is that the fire alarm? No, don't worry about it. I don't know.
No, that was just me getting off.
It's me, baby.
Possibly be a fire alarm. What else? Like, yeah. So with those conventions, I ask people this all the time: how much semen do you think gets dropped into those toilets after someone meets their favorite star? Because we went to Exotica for the first time last year. And I was standing in there and I'm pissing in the toilet and I'm just standing there and I'm holding my dick in my hand. And the thought just consumes in my mind, did somebody come in this toilet before I pissed in them? Like I've been obsessed with it ever since. Have you done it
yourself yet?
No.
Maybe you need to do it. Just curb that obsession in the butt right away. Just get it done and over with.
Now I'm just like, should I go to Exotica with a black light and just blacklight the toilet? It just so I can know,
of course,
the answer to this. Because when we first got to Exotica last year, there was a guy who came out. He had the biggest smile I have ever seen on a human being with like a signed photo. And I looked over at my normal co-host, Matt, and I was like, he jerked off before he left out of here, like without question. Like
it could have been Vividly Vixen's man because they had sex right in the lens stall. So maybe he met.
You just look at him and he has blood all over the front of his jeans. And you're just like, oh,
I know that guy.
We know what happened here. The dick shark has struck again. This is Shark Week, damn it. This is happening during Shark Week. This is what's going on. Like now you need to do videos where it's like burn it, and you're just kind of coming in like that.
If you ever see on Twitter, like if you ever see like the hashtag like dick shark or me responding to something with like a shark gif, like that's what we're talking about. Like it's an inside joke. So yeah, that's the dick sharks. And he put a dildo on the end of a fishing pole and fishing line and like hung it over the balcony, like took a picture of that, put it on Twitter. I was like, oh,
I saw that.
Dick sharks coming to town. Time to get the gear ready.
I saw that. That's hilarious. So like now it's the kind of thing that for Halloween you need to just put like a little like shark fin on your head, like just like a little like headband thing with like a shark fin on your head.
It says cast interviews of Dick Shark.
So is that a movie?
It says cast interviews Dick Shark, and there's like this naked girl laying. This is on Facebook, so somebody's on the Dick Shark thing.
All right,
Jeff just Googled Dick Shark just to see what.
Yeah, absolutely did Google Dick. Can we see that one? That's kind of. That's
that a shark dick? What?
Yeah, that's a dildo. That's a shark dildo.
Yeah, shark dildo. That's great. No,
It's
I like your Halloween ideas. And I was just at the Halloween store the other day, and I was like debating back and forth, like, what do I want to be for Halloween? Where am I going for Halloween? What should I do? Should I spend money on it? Should I not? No, that's what I'm gonna be.
I can't stop.
Yes, yes, uncut.
She's blowing the
I haven't made my debut in that one if it's uncut.
You ever see the Alien movie?
It is uncut. First edit.
Out the chest. That's what it looks like. She's trying to suck as the alien. It just comes out of the fucking chest or whatever.
IMDb. Here we go. Comedy, sci-fi. A romantic couple get more than they expected to the husband's experiments with penis enlargement cream go awry.
He puts cream on his dick for dick enlargement and transforms his cock into a shark. That's what I got from that, right? Like,
yeah.
Somebody sat there and thought, brilliant. Let's make that.
Yeah, someone was on some acid. That
Yeah.
sounds fun. Yeah, no, that's a cool idea.
Speaking of Halloween costumes, so have you ever gotten in trouble while wearing a Halloween costume? Like, have you ever gotten into like something like, for example, I'm wearing a glory hole costume and I just happen to be arrested. Like, I wasn't, but you just happened to be arrested in a glory hole costume. Like, have you gotten in trouble, like dressed up as anything in
You're
specific?
talking like it with the law?
Like not really in the law, but also
just
caught
like
maybe doing something, or just, you know, some sort of trouble came up.
Yeah. I mean, not maybe. I mean, I don't know. I can talk my way out of a lot of bullshit that I get myself into.
Most women can get themselves out of almost anything. Officer, or
yeah, no, I'm not good at that. I'm just an idiot, or I just spew stuff out. I'm like, well, it's the truth. I don't know what you want me to tell you. And they're like, all right, well, you told the truth, so we'll let you go. I'm like, okay, cool, thank you, appreciate that. Like, I'm not gonna insult your intelligence by like pretending something else happened, or like I was doing something else. You know, all right, that's what I did. Yeah, I don't know. I don't. I mean, I know that like when I was in college, I was dressed up as a sailor, and like we had like bodyguards for the night, and like had this big limo and stuff. And like I know that like I kept trying to rape all the bodyguards. And then that didn't work because they were all like stoic and like wouldn't like even smile all night. I'm like, oh, this is like the biggest like cunt tease ever. Like you guys are like all these big sexy guys in suits, and like you won't even look at me. Like, what is this shit?
What is this? Yeah. And the reason I ask, imagine this: you are dressed up like a Bud Light can, and you get a DUI while you're dressed up like a Bud Light can. Because I came across a video of a man who did exactly that. He got arrested while dressed up like a Bud Light can. So let's see. So boom. So file. Boom. Let me just go ahead and pull this up. And we are going to see this poor idiot who dressed up like a Bud Light can that got arrested.
All right. Well, this kind of makes sense. Driver dressed as a Bud Light can, pulled over for drunk driving. Police in Kansas pulled him over, failed the sobriety test. Probably not easy dressed as a can of Bud Light to, you know, raise 1 foot and count to 10 or whatever he was asked to do. This was Cinco de Mayo. It wasn't Halloween. It was Cinco de Mayo.
That's even worse.
Had a little too good of a time and did not get a designated driver tie, according to police.
Where's his face?
They blocked it out.
Oh.
Oh, I thought his back was turned to me.
What? I couldn't tell.
What kind of
his
idiot?
hat's on backwards. That's a second crime. Wear your hat forwards. All right.
So did that lady really say, where's his face?
Yeah.
Why was he dressed up for Cinco de Mayo? Like that's
also, you don't wear a Bud Light, you wear Corona. Like,
it's Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, nobody does Bud Light anymore.
Yeah, like that's the least like it's so. Imagine you're driving by and you just see homeboy doing a field sobriety test. Like, imagine being drunk or high or fucked up, and you just see a beer can being arrested on the side of the highway. Like, for me, if anything, if that's a signal to not drink anymore,
I know I'm fucked.
Driving down the road, seeing the police brutalize a beer can. Like imagine if he ran. Like, police are just chasing a beer can down the road. Like, that's
I've got no prayer.
Yeah, I don't understand.
I'm stuck on the whole Cinco de Mayo part.
Yeah, like I'm stuck on the part where she was like, "Where's his face?"
Yeah,
Bitch,
yeah. Like, what do you mean? Where's his face?
What do you mean? Where's his face? And then the guy pulled the whole, "Well, wear your hat properly. Wear it forward, bitch." Like, I'll wear my hat backwards. I wear my hat backwards 99.99% of the time. I only have this forward because it's branded, and that's it. What the fuck? So, oh man. So,
and it was daylight in that picture too, which kind of makes it even like worse. Okay, you're dressed up like a Bud Light. Not even a good beer, like a Bud Light beer can in the middle of fucking the summer, in the middle of the day, not even on Halloween, and you're getting arrested for a DUI. Like, that's midlife crisis everywhere, all over it. Like, it's gotta be.
What's going wrong here? Like,
what state was that in?
I think they said it was in Kansas.
Wow, that explains a lot.
Yeah, they don't have anything else.
There's not a lot to do. Like,
there's a big ball of yarn, the world's biggest ball of yarn, and that's it. That's what I've heard. That's all that's there. I had a yeah. The world's largest ball of yarn. I'm when I would travel for wrestling shows, my tag partner would drive like 55 minutes out of the way to go see like the shoe house
or some shit like that. And it'd be like, bro, we're trying to get to the show. Like, I don't want to drive an hour out of the way to go see the world's biggest Big Mac. Like, no, I fucking want to get here and wrestle so we can go to the strip club afterwards. I don't like, stop. Yeah. So yeah, he was like the Google Maps of weird shit and strip clubs. Like, there were so many times he would get us booked on a wrestling show and be like, right, look, we're going to go wrestle this wrestling show in Bumfuck, West Virginia. I got us booked as the first match because there's midget strippers at the strip club. And then we'd go first match and drink till like 4:00 in the morning at the strip club, and then drive our asses home completely drunk after wrestling and watching, midget strippers at the strip club and all that stuff. So yeah, it's insane, the shit that he thought of. So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to get back into our current featured beer, which is Off Your Gourd. So Off Your Gourd is by how did you say that earlier, Jeff? Was it Idiom or how is that?
Idiom.
Right. By Idiom Brewery. So as I said, I like a lot of the cans that have a description. This one doesn't have a description. Shout out to Idiom Brewing. They're down here in Frederick, Maryland. But I love the label of the pumpkin head with the chainsaw chasing the little buds around and all that. So I like it. As I said, I'm not really a big pumpkin anything guy. I don't like
You're making me crave pumpkin beer so bad right now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so this, of course,
Shipyard
brown sugar, really candy,
Shipyard's cool.
Bygone cinnamon, and nutmeg. 8.0% alcohol.
If you take like caramel and you put like caramel around the rim of a beer glass and then like dip it in cinnamon sugar and then pour the pumpkin beer in, oh my god, it's a
we got a beer junkie. I'm in love right here.
I try not to drink it too much because I gotta maintain my figure a little bit, but pumpkin beer, I'm like, it's my favorite for sure. I might have gained a couple pounds this season.
I used to go to
I hate pumpkin anything. Like, I can't.
Well, we can't be friends then.
I used to go to a restaurant, not a restaurant, it's a bar, but like a craft beer bar, and they would pour Warlock in their glass, and they would put brown sugar around the rim of the Warlock. Whoa, baby! I'm telling you, bro. Yeah.
If you like pumpkin stuff, have you tried? I don't think my wife's tried it yet, but I heard really good things about Wendy's pumpkin frosty. They have like a pumpkin spice frosty, and I heard the business. Like, and my wife was like, I need to go get one of those right now, and I was like, no, you keep it over there. Like, I don't know. It's weird. Like, I'll eat pumpkin roll, but pumpkin for me, I don't know. It's just, I can't.
Like pumpkin coffee creamer, like that's when you know it's fall. When you start your day with pumpkin in your fucking coffee. Like
my wife had gotten pumpkin spice frosted mini wheats, and I'm just kind of like,
I've had them.
I want some pumpkin flavored lube. Does anybody make that? Does anybody make that? Can we do? Yeah, there's flavored lubes. Yeah, but I just thought about that. I was like, oh my god, is there like fall flavored pumpkin fucking lube? That'd be amazing.
Awesome.
I'm going to make it now and deliver it.
They don't have it. That needs to be our creation. We need to do pumpkin spice lube, pumpkin spice flavored lube.
Yes,
and you can buy it like in the very, very back part of Starbucks. Near like where the bathrooms are, and you have this weird guy with a trench coat, and he's like, "Hey, come here," and it's like we can hire the guy who wants to do like the nipple torture shit. We'll hire that.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, and he'll have these like lubes hanging from like hooks inside of his trench coat, and he'll just be like, "Hey, look, I got this pumpkin spice lube for you. Do you want to try it?" I could see somebody like mistaking the lube for like a shot, and then they take the lid off and just kind of like chug it down a little bit. Like, I don't know. Like,
I just want to like, I'd put it on my nipples and be like, okay, you don't like pumpkin? I bet you're gonna like it now.
I suddenly love pumpkin.
See then you have to up it a little bit. Like that's just like, I don't know. Like, what's pumpkin again? I've all of a sudden got amnesia about my disdain for pumpkin.
Yeah, I hear pumpkin, I think titties. I don't know.
What's happening? So, of course,
pumpkin is back.
Our current featured shot is still Old Smoky Salted Watermelon Whiskey. So, of course, shout out to Old Smoky. And it's weird because I didn't know that they had the whiskey because I drank the shit out of the moonshine. I blacked out on their moonshine so many times.
They all have at least.
So, but and actually they have, I saw it, they have pumpkin spice whiskey and they have pumpkin flavored moonshine as well from Old Smoky. So go out and try to grab some
The
of
Old
that.
Smoky's a little too. It's a lot of sugar in it though, and it's really not that like it's not real moonshine. Like down here, we have like real moonshine, and that shit.
Oh yeah, you guys have gasoline. That's what that is. Like it's so strong that
But
like
the real rednecks, like we know how to actually make that gasoline taste like a fucking amazing. And like it's
pretty excited. I am
There's
pretty excited tonight. Telling you.
I've made my own moonshine before, and then I went and I sold it at work for like $20 a jar.
Yeah. How much did you make off that? How profitable was that?
Years ago. I mean, I don't know. I really don't remember.
So you made your own moonshine. So what because I know like that you would have these people in Alabama and like the backwoods with like all these like fucking all this shit they would use to make. How did you craft your moonshine?
Yeah, I wasn't like mass producing it. It was like all right, I've made wine, I've done other things. Like I lived on a farm. I lived on 32 acres, and I basically I made my own soap. I had dairy goats, had a big dairy goat farm and everything, and horses and the whole 9 yards. So I made like everything from soap and laundry detergent to like freeze-dried foods and shit like that, like a lot of prepper stuff and whatever. So I was like, well, fuck it. If the world ends, I need alcohol. So I need to learn how to make that. So I started with wine, and I went to like a muscadine, like typically for my birthday every year, instead of asking my family for presents, I want to do something like with the family, like something, because like make a memory, not just buy me stuff. I have enough stuff. Everybody has shit. We don't need more of it. Like, let's go do something that's productive. So like in 1 year I went and got my concealed carry permit, and I made my mom and my sister get with me. And then then the next year it was like motorcycle permit, and then it was just like different things. And so then the 1 year I was like, I want to make wine, so let's find a muscadine vineyard that's like close by, and it was like a 20 or 30-year-old vineyard or whatnot, and we just got like these big ass buckets and made like 26 gallons of muscadine wine, 3 different flavors. Like it was a huge production, and it was really cool, and the wine was fantastic. And then from that point on, I was hooked. So I did do the moonshine. It wasn't like it wasn't that much of it. It was maybe like a 5-gallon bucket worth. But yeah, and then it was so good that I sold it, and then I kind of gave some for Christmas presents, and then I drank the rest. So now
with the wine, when you made wine, was it like the red wine that you would do?
So I did like a Chardonnay, and then I did a rose, and then I did a red too, but the red was more of like a Moscato. It was a sweet light red, and that was actually what started me drinking red wine, was making my own red wine. I was like,
there you go. Make your own red wine, and it can be called Dick Shark wine.
There you have
it. And then when
you
can have that. That's yours. Dick Shark wine.
Dick Shark wine.
Yeah, and then every time you pour it out, you can just sit there and just think about
drinking the blood of my enemies.
Yeah, yes. Yes. We talked about that. I brought this up last. For some reason, there was one time we were down at the beach, and me and one of my friends had like this really nasty red wine that we had. And for some reason, we shoved a marshmallow into the bottle, and he had this big cross chain that he would wear, and he put the cross chain on it, and he baptized the wine. And then we got drunk, and we started calling it the blood of Christ. So the whole night we were saying we were drinking the blood of Christ, and we're like at the bar, we're yelling, "We're drinking the blood of Christ!" Like holding it in the air, and everybody's looking at us like, what the fuck is happening? And we're just kind of like, well, as long as we know we're drinking the blood of Christ, that's all that matters.
And you said you put a marshmallow in it?
Yeah, I don't know why we put the marshmallow.
Where did that come from? You just carry marshmallows in your pocket?
We just had marshmallows there. I think we were making s'mores or some shit, and we ended up shoving it in there, but we had to dig most of it out because the marshmallow ended up working like in a tampon effect. And like when you would try to get like it was kind of absorbing and like blocking the wine. So then I forgot if it was a knife or something. So we started stabbing through the top of the bottle to try to get like the marshmallow out of it was chaos that whole night. And like that wasn't the only stuff we drank. And like later on, we went back. We ended up a different trip. We ended up throwing a whole entire inflatable pool filled with water off the balcony. And I've never heard a body smack the ground when someone's jumped off of a building, but I assume that pool filled with water hitting the ground is kind of sort of what that sounds like. And yeah, the neighbors weren't too happy about that in the townhouse when we did that, because we would get pretty wild and do a lot of stupid shit. Like we're the ones that would carry our friend up to the roof and leave him up there and just bolt and go to the bar or some shit like that.
That's
Like,
weird.
Yeah.
I have guys that want to pay me to do that to them.
Wow.
Just tie them up and
What?
then leave them there while I go off and run errands. I'm like, I already did my errands for this week.
Can you please, like, someone just goes, can you handcuff me and put like a gag in my mouth and just leave me to be roasted by the sun on the roof while
And
you go and eat ice cream? And you're just
And
like, okay.
steal my wallet and my passcode to the ATM card is 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
I've had guys that want me to do that. I'm like, I don't know. I have a conscience, and like, I mean, I wish I could be more of a bitch. I really wish I could, but I really can't mean it if I'm not like absolutely pissed off at you and hate your guts. Like, I'm just not me. I'm not a vengeful person when it comes to that. Like, unless it's like dick shark stuff, and then I like it,
So I wanted to ask you, of course, whenever we have one of our guests on, we always do a deep dive on their content and all that stuff. So one of your scenes was, I forgot the exact name of it, but it was like an Uber type scene.
Fuck.
Yeah. Like, how did that scene work out? Because it like that's the whole thing. Like I saw like the trailer for that scene,
It was
and I was just
horrible.
kind of like,
It was horrible. It's fucking horrible. Like I'm not a good actress, and I've said that. Like, I've said that to every single company that wants to hire me. To any other creators are like, oh yeah, I want to like do this scene and do that. I'm like, you know what? Like, it's just not me. Like, it's just not me. I can't. I just can't get into it. Like, and plus, like, I don't know. My brain just doesn't work like that. I'm like, oh, you're gonna have to remember these lines and these lines and these lines. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, and I'm like, blank, just blank. My mind just goes blank. And then I don't want to, like, I'm doing this because I enjoy it and I want to enjoy it. By stressing myself out and doing stuff like that, I'm not enjoying it. So then I'm just like, you know what? I just want to be as authentic as possible. And if you want me on your set, I'm fun as fuck to work with, and everybody will tell you she's a horrible actress. Right. Yeah. Like, she's a horrible actress, but she's really fun to work with. And like, some of my one of the shoots that I did maybe like 2 months or so ago, it hasn't aired yet. I think it's coming up soon, but no, that one did air. They were like laughing. They're like, oh, it's Vividly Vixen making porn fun again. I was like, oh, I like that slogan. Like, yeah. And they're like,
make porn fun again.
Yeah. And honestly, I kind of want my hashtag to be like, make porn real again, because I'm tired of that fake shit.
Wow.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Dick Shark doing her job.
Yeah, exactly. It's real. Like,
through the water, lurking and waiting to make porn fun again.
Fun and real.
So Viv, what we're going to do, we're going to let you go ahead and get ready to get out of here. We're going to get ready to conclude our episode here on the Happy Hour podcast. Of course, thank you to everybody who joined us live streaming right here on YouTube Live. I always tell everybody, if you want to see us a night early, always join us for a live stream right here on YouTube Live. Click the subscribe button at the bottom of the screen. Make sure you do that. Join us each and every week live. This episode for everybody watching live will be on Roku and Fire TV tomorrow night, this coming Tuesday. So if you're watching us there, we appreciate you. Also, make sure you check out Pod Nation TV, which is our network that hosts the Happy Hour podcast. And Viv, where can everybody find you? And of course, don't give out your address, because fish hook guy.
Damn it!
Like, this guy's sitting there like,
I know it on
summer with like the raincoat on with the hook, and he's just waiting like in the shadows.
Yeah.
Pen in his hand, waiting for the address.
Yeah, no, I'm actually pretty hard to find as far as like a physical location goes. I'm pretty good on that. I travel a lot. I mean, I'm kind of a gypsy, so the past year I've been just jumping around. You never know. One day I'm here, and then the next morning it's like, I'm over on the other side of the state now. I'm like, but no, all of my stuff is basically, it's all at Vividly Vixen. The only thing that's different is my VIP page is Vividly Vixen VIP, and my Twitter is Vividly_Vixen. Other than that, you can find me on FetLife, Instagram, Facebook, all of the bullshit. Just Vividly Vixen, just Google me, it pops up. FetLife is the bomb. I think everybody should go to that, and they're way cooler than
I'm gonna check it out.
And on my, like, I have a studio I just kind of started up on Clips for Sale, which is the sponsor for FetCon, for FetishCon.
Nice.
It's a lot easier to upload, a lot easier to work with than OnlyFans is, and they're not just gonna like kick you off just because.
OnlyFans is weird. They're very up and down on like they're like, we're gonna allow the shit or we're not gonna allow the shit, or we're gonna allow
and
it.
they won't tell you why if they get something.
They're all over the place. It's almost like Facebook. Like they put you in Facebook jail, and you wonder why, and it's just like, because because Zuckerberg is a fucking lizard person. That's why. Like, look at him. He's the most lizard-looking motherfucker I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, and it's only gotten worse as he's gotten older too.
Yeah.
There's no hiding that.
Yeah.
So I'll mostly on OnlyFans. I have a free page and a VIP page. So like the free page is like if you can look and see what the videos are and get previews and stuff, and then it's pay-per-view. But the VIP page is, it's a subscription, but you get all my videos for the same price, like monthly price. So it's honestly the better deal. And I don't post crap. I don't post like, oh, who wants to buy my panties? Like, no. You want real shit? Like, I'll show you real shit. Make porn real again, right? So, just Vividly Vixen. All my platforms. Find me.
And are you going to do any Halloween-oriented content? I think you might have said earlier that you mentioned.
I'm going to do some blood stuff. I want to do some blood stuff. Like I talked about doing like blood, like some sort of like blood related content.
There's blood in the water. Dick Shark's coming for the blood.
Right?
Yeah, but I talked about this, but with him before that even happened. So like, now we definitely gotta like do some slinging of some sort. If you come up with something, because your ideas are really legit when it comes to the Halloween stuff. So if you think of anything, I'll do a custom for you.
Okay. Yeah. I always tell everybody anything that we say on the show is an idea. It's yours. That's the whole thing. And of course, the live stream, I knew the question was going to come eventually. Our good friend Jason, who tunes in every single episode, he asks, are you going to be attending the New Jersey Exotica?
I was just asked that last night too, and actually the other day. No.
Okay.
I'm not really a fan of New Jersey, or like just like I don't know. I've traveled a lot this year, and I got to figure some stuff out here at home. So I'm going to stay in the state of Florida for a little bit longer.
Yeah. I don't blame you. We're going to be there. We heard the Jersey one is the one to go to. We went to DC last year. So we'll definitely be there. So if anybody out there, if you see us, we're going to be out there. We're going to be recording all kinds of content. We're going to be doing reverse interviews. We're going to be doing Pornstar confessionals. So pretty much we'll take you over to one of the porn stars we know, and we will have you tell them your deepest, darkest confession. I want someone to admit to a murder. Like that's my ultimate goal. Someone just goes, oh, Lauren Phillips, there was this time. And we're like, whoa, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Like my morbid mind just being morbid. But no, it'll be fun. Reverse interviews, of course, we're walking around with a Uno reverse card, and at random times we'll hand it back and forth, and the interview will reverse, kind of like in the Uno game. So Viv, we're going to go ahead and let you get ready to get out of here. Can you hang out for 1 second once we conclude?
Yeah.
Awesome. So we're going to be back here again, right here on YouTube Live this coming Friday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Our featured guest are the returning Caitlin Bell. She's been on the show a handful of times, and Crystal Rush will be joining us as well. So they're besties. They're going to be coming together this time. Both of them have been on the show before, so that should be a ball. Of course, we're going to have Smasher Dash Halloween edition, all kinds of other stuff. We're going to be getting into the Flickergeist, who's another urban Maryland legend. All kinds of fun stuff. And of course, just sitting here calling it on the fly as always and just shooting the shit. So Viv, we're going to let you get out of here. Jeff, man, thank you once again for coming in and filling in for Matt. And make sure you check out the Yo Show right here on Pod Nation TV. That's Jeff's show. And make sure you go over and find all of Viv's content, and don't send her any weird shit.
Send me the weird stuff.
Yeah, she's not,
I like it.
Yeah.
I'll broadcast it all over the news. Just be careful, be careful what you say.
Anybody watching this, make sure you hashtag out Dick Shark, or only consider Vividly Vixen as the Dick Shark, and that's it. That will be her new nickname, the Dick Shark. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead, wrap up here on our live stream, and we will see you guys next time right here on the Happy Hour podcast. All right, so there's that, and then I just gotta hit it on here, and